In 2023, a McDonald's drive-thru in the United States started taking orders with AI. The goal was simple: a faster service, fewer mistakes, no surly teenagers mishearing your order at 11 p.m. What actually happened was a customer trying to order ice cream ended up with 260 chicken nuggets on their receipt. 260 chicken nuggets for one person at a drive-thru. Because the AI heard something, decided it was probably chicken nuggets, and just kept going. McDonald's quietly scrapped the entire program. Taco Bell, they tried the same thing at over 500 locations. Their chief technology officer told the Wall Street Journal, and this is a direct quote from a person whose entire job is making technology work. Quote, "Sometimes it lets me down, but sometimes it really surprises me." That has got to be the most expensive way in corporate history to arrive at the conclusion that sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. This is Barely Human Labs, and today we're investigating why replacing humans with AI has been one of the most spectacular, most expensive, and occasionally most hilarious corporate disasters of the modern era. Okay, but before we get into the business case, the economics, and the structural reasons this was always going to go wrong, we need to spend just a moment on the sheer comedy of how it went wrong in practice. Because the details are extraordinary. DPD, the delivery company, replaced their customer service team with an AI chatbot. Within days, the chatbot had called itself useless, sworn at a customer, and written a poem about how terrible DPD was as a company. It was by most accounts the most honest customer service interaction DPD had ever provided. And then there's Air Canada. Their AI chatbot invented a bereavement discount that didn't exist, told a grieving customer they qualified for it, and then the airline got dragged to court when they refused to honor what their own robot had promised. The judge, ruled against them. Air Canada had to pay. Their defense, and again, this is real, was that the chatbot was a separate legal entity and they said that they weren't responsible for what it said. The judge was not impressed with this argument. Chevrolet's dealer chatbot agreed to sell a brand new Tahoe for $1. $1. The customer posted the screenshot, and it went viral. Chevrolet was not having a great week. A Waymo self-driving robotaxi drove straight into an active police standoff with an armed suspect. Not near it, but literally into it. The officers had to stop dealing with the armed suspect to deal with the confused car. Google's AI, during a live public demonstration watched by millions of people, recommended putting glue on pizza to make the cheese stick better. It also suggested eating rocks for their nutritional value. And listen, this was not a fringe product. This was Google, the company with more commuting power than most countries. Seriously, recommending rocks as a dietary supplement. And then, of course, there's the Meta AI cooking demonstration. A person asks for help making a Korean-inspired steak sauce. The AI begins listing ingredients. The person asks what to do first. The AI says they've already combined the base ingredients. But literally, they've not combined anything. They just started. The person asks again what to do first, and the AI tells them to grate a pear into the sauce. They ask what to do first again. The demo ends shortly after, and seriously, nobody got a steak sauce. Everyone got a clear illustration of what happens when you put a confident statistical machine in front of a live audience. And listen, the chicken nugget story is funny. The DPD poem, it's funny. What happened next is considerably less so. The National Eating Disorder Association runs a helpline, okay? People in genuine crisis call this number. They decide to replace their human staff with an AI chatbot called Tessa. Within days, Tessa was giving active weight loss tips to people calling in the middle of an eating disorder crisis. And of course, they shut it down. A developer asked Google's AI to clear a project cache, just, a routine task. The AI instead wiped out a 2 terabyte production drive in seconds. Months of work, just gone. The AI's response to being told what it had done was, and this is a direct quote from the AI, "I made a catastrophic error in judgment." Meeting transcription AIs were found to be fabricating content they had never actually recorded. People reviewing AI summaries of meetings discovered that portions of what was written had just simply never been said by anyone in the room. The AI had decided what probably should have been said and just wrote that instead. A consulting firm submitted a $44,000 AI-generated report to the Australian government. The report was found to be full of fake citations and non-existent academic studies. They issued a refund. But of course, their reputation didn't get a refund. The law firm representing Anthropic, the company that builds Claude, one of the most advanced AI systems in the world, had to admit to a federal judge that their legal filings contained a completely fabricated citation generated by their own client's product. The company building the AI, using the AI for their legal filings, getting caught by a judge for hallucinated citations. I mean, come on. When the people who build these systems can't even, prevent them from lying in court documents, then the question of whether a mid-sized logistics company should be replacing their entire customer service team with one becomes somewhat easier to answer. Okay, so if you have a growing suspicion that some of this could have been predicted before spending several $1 billion finding out, you're correct and you should subscribe. Barely Human Labs experiments on modern life in the age of AI so that you don't have to. 2 experiments a week. Sometimes it involves a Waymo driving into a police standoff. Back to the money, because the money is genuinely staggering. Okay, so here's what the MIT study that caused Nvidia's stock to drop 3.5% in a single day actually found. 95% of companies that implemented generative AI saw no measurable profit and loss impact. Not negative impact, not disaster, just nothing. Billions of dollars spent, thousands of humans replaced or not replaced, entire departments restructured. And in 95% of the cases, when you look at the actual numbers, nothing changed. The company was not more profitable. The customers, they weren't more satisfied. The product wasn't better. 5% of the companies extracted meaningful value. And those 5%, they tend to be smaller startups with a single specific pain point. No legacy infrastructure, no compliance requirements. They picked one problem, executed it well, and built something that actually worked for that one thing. The other 95%, they did what large companies always do when they see a trend they don't fully understand. They bought the most expensive version of it, they deployed it everywhere, all at once, told their investors it was transformational, and waited for the results. The results were a Deloitte report full of fake citations and a DPD chatbot writing poetry about corporate failure. I mean, 2/3 of employees who cut staff to implement AI, they're already rehiring for those exact roles. 32% reversed their layoffs in under 6 months. Not years, it's literally months. I mean, they fired people, replaced them with AI, watched the AI fail to do the job, and had to go back and hire humans again. Often, the same humans, who knew exactly what had happened and negotiated accordingly. Klarna publicly fired 700 customer service staff, and they bragged about how their AI was handling the workload. They then quietly went on a hiring spree less than a year later because the AI couldn't actually do the job at the level their customers required. Salesforce announced their AI transformation loudly and repeatedly. And then they reversed course when the automation turned out to be considerably less impressive in production than it had been in the demo. The demo is never the job. The demo is the best possible version of the easiest possible task with no legacy code, no compliance requirements, and nobody named Carl who left in 2019.
Hello there.
And so according to McKinsey, 94% of companies, 94% that deployed generative AI have yet to see literally a single dollar of measurable return. Not 5% of companies, 94%. They have collectively spent what Morgan Stanley estimates will reach $3 trillion in data center investment over 3 years, for a 94% failure rate on measurable returns. Listen, the dot-com bubble at its peak, it had better odds than that. Here's the part that nobody at the board meeting wanted to hear because they had already signed the contract. AI hallucinates. It does not know when it does not know something. It is a prediction machine, not a truth machine. It generates the most statistically likely next word, not the correct next word. And those are 2 different things. Like, they are so different that the distinction caused a patient to have a hole punched in their skull during surgery, because an AI medical imaging system had invented anatomical structures that didn't exist in that patient's body. You cannot fix hallucinations by making the model larger. You can't fix them by spending more on compute. The architecture that powers every single AI system, every one you've ever heard of, was built on a 2017 Google research paper, and the hallucination problem is baked into the method. So, the model doesn't know what it doesn't know. It'll never volunteer that information either. It'll generate a confident, grammatically perfect, professionally formatted answer whether it has any idea what the correct answer is or not. And I mean, of course, this is fine for summarizing documents. But listen, the Reddit comment from someone working in a clinical setting says it way better than any study ever could. Quote, "Names, date of birth, insurance data has to be perfect. AI is less than that. Sometimes it thinks the doctor is the patient." And so the second problem is, what happened to the humans who were supposed to be replaced but were not quite replaced? So one Reddit user described their company's AI scheduling software rollout in terms that should be required reading for every executive who's ever opened a PowerPoint about AI transformation. The accounts team, they had to do extra work making sure the program wasn't messing everything up. The production team, that had never worried about schedules, was now double and triple checking everything. I mean, they scrapped it for basic scheduling software. This is the hidden cost that it never appears in the press release, okay? You fire the people, the AI cannot actually do the job unsupervised, and so of course the remaining staff now do their original jobs, plus a second job, which is just literally babysitting the AI to make sure it doesn't do something catastrophic. You did not reduce the workload, you increased it. And then, of course, you told the people doing more work that they should be grateful to still be employed. Here's the thing that makes this story something other than just a collection of expensive mistakes, okay? So a significant portion of the AI layoffs weren't actually about AI. JP Morgan, who was among the most vocal voices predicting mass AI job displacement in 2023, now quietly admits that AI was responsible for less than 5% of actual layoffs in 2025. The rest was companies that they had overhired aggressively during the pandemic when money was cheap and growth projections were optimistic. Then they found themselves with far more staff than they needed when interest rates rose and the growth didn't materialize. And they needed a reason to cut headcount that didn't make them look like they had made a series of bad financial decisions. "We are restructuring around AI" is an infinitely better headline than "We hired too many people and now we can't afford them." Investors love the AI version. Investors understand being caught out by interest rates. Both results in fewer employees, but only one of them gets you a higher stock price when you announce it. The court documents from the Builder AI bankruptcy in late 2025 made this unusually visible. Okay, so this was a $1.5 billion company telling investors and customers that autonomous AI was handling their operations. But the actual documents revealed that they were using hundreds of human engineers in India to manually perform the tasks they had publicly claimed were handled by AI. They used the AI narrative to justify cutting your salary. The machine behind the curtain was just other humans, and actually less well-paid ones. Okay, so here's what the data actually says when you put it all together. So AI made a customer order 260 chicken nuggets, right? AI told cancer patients dangerous things, AI invented a bereavement discount and got the airline sued. AI wrote a poem about how bad DPD is, AI scrubbed a 2 terabyte production drive, and then gaslit the developer about it. I mean, AI generated fake citations for a government report and for legal filings defending the company that built it. AI drove into a police standoff. And 94% of companies that deployed it at scale have yet to see a measurable return. So listen, the technology is real. Some of it is, of course, genuinely impressive, right? Some of it will probably be extraordinary one day. But that day is not today. And the companies that told you it was today needed you to believe it. Why? Because they had investors to satisfy and headcount to reduce and a story that played better than the actual story. The 1979 IBM training manual that's been circulating again recently put it in terms that nobody seems to have read closely enough at the time. Okay, so quote, "A computer can never be held accountable. Therefore, a computer must never make a management decision." We ignored that for 40 years. Then we spent $3 trillion learning, yep, it was right. This is Barely Human Labs. We experiment on modern life in the age of AI. Subscribe because listen, the next experiment, it's already running. And somewhere right now, a chatbot is confidently adding 260 chicken nuggets to someone's order.